Hi everyone, Niamoy. I hope you're doing well and you're giving your mother just the right amount of grief. Dahi, I miss you, son. It's only been a few days since I left you up there at the hospital, but it's hard. Anyways, for anyone who else may be watching, things have been rough. 6 months now, still no heart transplant. Switching from status 1A down to status 6, back to 1A, back to 6. 1A is high priority, our top priority for a transplant. But yeah, 6 months now. It's been rough. Just ready for you to be home. Mommy's been working pretty hard getting the house done. Your sisters have been helping. As you can see, a beautiful crib waiting for you. But yet, no heart, and you still are not here. But let's talk of happier things. Alright, so I am doing something a little bit different with the story selection today, as it's Valentine's Day. So I decided to do something a little different since it's Valentine's Day, and I wanted to do something unique for mommy. So the story that I'm going to be reading today is actually a story that I have writ, that I have wrote, that I have written. I don't know. Daddy's tired. Today was a bit of a long day. Took your sisters to the gym, worked out a little bit, beat up some newbies and some people who, well, let's just say I got a workout that I haven't gotten a workout, or I got a pretty good workout that I haven't had in a while. It was nice to get the work on the heavy bags and do some sparring. Yes, your older sister, or the oldest sister, is actually getting ready for a fight soon. She will be traveling, then hopefully she wins. Even if she doesn't win, I'm still proud of her for having the courage to go do this, especially with everything that's going on. Anyways, my love, this story I wrote in lieu of you. Now, I know it's not, I'm no real story writer. I run games, I do DM, I run as a game master from time to time. So I do have some experience in creating stories, but writing, well, I hope you enjoy it. And once again, remember, I am no expert when it comes to writing. So this story is a little bit of romance in lieu of Valentine's Day and a whole lot of fantasy. So, like I said, it's a little bit different than what I normally read because, well, I'm reading someone else's work. I'm so glad I'm able to find Baja Blast still. Anyways, so let's go ahead and get this story started. I've worked a while on it and did a whole nitpicking. It's not long. It is a short story, but I hope you enjoy it. So, this story is called The Kitsune's Heart. The sun rose, revealing a foggy field littered with the aftermath of a devastating battle. I pressed the wrong button. I'm reading this off of the computer screen right now, and I pressed something and it disappeared. Let's try that again. The sun rose, revealing a foggy field littered with the aftermath of a devastating battle. Broken blades, arrows, and bodies were scattered amongst the blood-soaked flowers. A weary and injured Ronin stumbled into the woods as he followed a cool, tranquil river with heavy breath. The Ronins stared around in disbelief as he found himself in a mystical grove. Unable to continue further, he rested near the edge of a pond that reflected the moon as it slowly rose above the trees. The tranquil sound made by the moving water and wind as it bellowed through the trees lulled the weary Ronin to sleep. Unbeknownst to him, there was a set of deep green eyes that watched him from the trees. A Kitsune with a dark red coat lightly stepped into the grove as her tail swished silently back and forth. She found herself intrigued by the Ronin's strength, his resilience, and his vulnerability as he laid unmoving. In a whimsical mood, the Kitsune decided that she would enjoy a bit of mischief with him. As she watched intently, she stretched a paw over the pond and splashed water towards him. With a start, the Ronin sprang into a kneeling position, eyes darting back and forth as he searched for any danger that might have been lurking in the moonlit grove. Heart pounding, he reached for his sword and stilled his mind for combat once more. His eyes fell on the Kitsune, her paw still in the cool water. With slow and graceful movement, the Kitsune drew her paw out of the water and slowly approached the Ronin. Drawn in by her mystical aura, the Ronin found himself lost in the depths of the dark jade eyes that kept moving closer. As the Kitsune walked, the moonlight danced around her as she took on her beautiful humanoid form. The Ronin released the sword that had found its way into his weakened hands. Looking up, the Ronin saw that he was kneeling before a beautiful woman. The wind blew the Kitsune's flowing red hair, but the depth in her green eyes were the same. Looking down, the Kitsune chuckled lightly as she gently caressed the side of the Ronin's face. Finding solace in her presence, he leaned into her hand and slowly closed his eyes. A warmth overtook his body as his injuries began to heal. Captivated, he breathed in a heady scent of sandalwood and lavender as the Kitsune began to work her healing arts. Although the Kitsune was able to heal some of his wounds, the Ronin was still weakened and sought to recover within the magical grove. Just as his true nature called to her, hers called to him. Initially drawn to her beauty, the Ronin discovered a depth of her character that was far beyond the Kitsune's appearance. Her kindness, wisdom, and depth of their bond served as the foundation of his love for her. Time continued to pass within the safety of the grove. As the Kitsune continued her care for the Ronin, she was able to bring down his guard and draw out the depths and possibilities buried underneath the weight of his past battles. He found himself opening up to her in ways he never thought he was capable. He shared not only his ambitions, but his fears, hopes, and dreams for a life of meaning. She appreciated the depths and authenticity of the Ronin. Each moment together filled her with both anxiety and excitement as she found herself contemplating a life with such a man. Despite appearing physically healed, the Ronin bore the scars and wounds of a lifetime of war. His damaged nerves caused relentless pain that he endured silently, but as time they became unbearable. His life was that of a wandering warrior. He had traveled far and wide as he sought to improve his skills. He faced many challenges and was willing to die in his search becoming strong enough to challenge the heavens. However, no matter his accomplishments in battle and the skills he had mastered, it was a lonely path that he had traveled. He no longer wished to be alone. Just like the burning pain from his nerves, the Ronin faced an internal battle that had no end in sight. He found himself lost as he struggled between achieving his life's work and the seed of happiness that started to grow during his time with the Kitsune. As time continued to pass, deep within the mystic grove, the two decided that together they would take on all the challenges that life could throw at them. They left the grove in search of a new life, offering support and finding strength through their shared journey. Even though the odds were not in their favor, they continued to overcome many trials and tribulations that threatened their bond. Instead, each new challenge they overcame spun another thread that bonded them and wove the tapestry of their love. Their dance of life and chaos brought them closer, cultivating a profound connection that transcended the many battles and achievements of the past. Under the guidance of his beloved, the Ronin gave up the life of a warrior as he chose to create rather than destroy. With the Kitsune's encouragement and desire to forge a gratifying life of prosperity and love, the Ronin became a blacksmith. The transition to the life of an artisan was not easy nor quick. Each passing day was another day that the blacksmith faced not only the burning pain of his nerves, but the pressure to provide for his newly bonded family. He devoted himself to the new path and continued striving to change into the man that his beloved deserved. His willingness to embrace his new life revealed the depths of his love for her. The Kitsune faced her own challenges of supporting a man that continuously struggled between his past life and his wish to devote himself to becoming a better man. Ignoring the calls from others as they pleaded with her to return back to her realm, the Kitsune vowed to stay and support him. Despite the hardship, both devoted themselves as they worked to build their home fueled by the hope of a better future. A Ronin no longer, the blacksmith realized that he did not find a cause worth dying for. Instead, he finally found a cause worth living. As the years passed, like the plants they cultivated in their fields, their family of two grew before their eyes. They added 4 crazy, beautiful, talented girls who each possessed strength and wisdom in their own right. Even still, the heavens deemed that the family was not complete. As time passed, the family once again grew after the birth of a beautiful son. His birth had once again changed the course of their life. Though strong in spirit, their son was born cursed with the weak heart. There was no known cure for the weakness, and the medicine to control the boy's condition was difficult to find. Striving to earn money for the medicine, the Kitsune had begun to use her healing arts, aiding various clients throughout the countryside. The blacksmith continued his toil, tending their lands, and honed his skills in the forge while producing exceptional tools and magnificent blades. The girls assisted their mother and father in their own way. One took to looking after the others while studying both the martial and healing arts. Another took to the forge and cultivating the land. The other daughter took to caring for the family by assisting with cooking and whatever was asked of her. The youngest did her best to assist both her mother and father in their work. Despite the challenges faced by the family, their bond proved unwavering as it was forged from resilience and tempered by their unconditional love. Despite the Kitsune's knowledge and skill in the healing Despite the Kitsune's knowledge and her skill in the healing arts expanded, there remained a deep sorrow in her heart. Even after struggling to gain greater knowledge, the acquisition and cultivation of medicine, and her continuous search for a way to heal her son's weak heart, the Kitsune was unable to do little more than to constantly use the rare medicine. The medication continued to grow more difficult to acquire and left her with no options. With the support of her family and a heavy heart, she left her family to embark on a quest in search of a cure. However, in spite of her hard work and dedication to find a solution, the ache of being separated from her children weighed heavily in her heart. As she grappled with her inner turmoil, she continuously struggled against the shadows casted by the self-doubt of her being a proper mother. Sensing the strain that the separation placed on his wife, the blacksmith continuously attempted to reassure her. Each message she received from him proved to be both a balm and bitter agony. As she read the messages, she often conjured images of her family in the hopes to ease her pain. However, seeing them in her foxfire also served as a reminder that she was unable to be with them. The blacksmith's relentless pain caused by his nerves was never gone, but his wife's presence and healing touch often eased the pain. Sadly, with her gone, the pain returned stronger than before. Calling upon the same strength and determination that once made him fearsome in battle, the blacksmith continued to endure the hardship of supporting his family in both physical and spiritual aspects. He pushed through the ever-present pain and fought the inner demons to rise each morning so that he could continue for their children and tending to the necessary work needed to ensure proper cultivation of their land and home. He strived to support his beloved like she supported him, often sending messages from the family and money ahead so that the Kitsune could focus on her quest. Each strike of his hammer resounded with the echo of his love, forging both the heated metal before him and the resolve to persevere. The Kitsune traveled hundreds of miles tracking down every scrap of knowledge that could help her. While searching to expand her skills in the healing arts, the Kitsune heard rumors of an enclave filled with hidden masters of the healing arts. Determined, she began her arduous search for the enclave. Months passed before she located them deep within the misty hills. After finally securing their agreement, she began her long journey home. Upon her return, she was greeted with open arms as the children rushed to her and her husband looked on his family with a smile. As she recounted her travels and experience throughout her journey, the blacksmith gathered her into a tight embrace. Gazing into the same jade eyes that stole his heart, he kissed her with a burning passion that could rival the brightest star. The sounds of giggling came from their youngest daughter as she called out, "Look, they're kissing!" After making kissing sounds, the youngest daughter darted away laughing. After a family dinner that was long overdue, the Kitsune took her husband on a late-night stroll, looking over the land that they worked hard to cultivate. She explained that the healing masters agreed to aid their son, but it would not be simple nor quick. Faced with the difficult reality that their son would need to stay at the Enclave for an unknown length of time, they discussed possible plans and solutions well into the night. As the sun rose on the following morning, it revealed the blacksmith holding his sleeping wife, who lay exhausted after her long journey. He gently raised the Kitsune's face and kissed her tear-stained cheeks. Holding her tightly, he spoke quietly, proclaiming that he would close his forge and accompany their son to the Enclave, knowing that the Kitsune was drained both emotionally and physically from her journey. He felt that time with their children could help ease some of the anxiety and stress that threatened to overwhelm her. After the children were informed, they were saddened by the news that their brother and father would soon depart. However, they were grateful to have their mother home at long last. With a heavy heart, the blacksmith gave each of his girls a parting hug and kiss. After a tearful farewell, the blacksmith and his son began their arduous journey to the remote Enclave, walking away from the warmth of their home and their loving family. Determined to support their family, the Kitsune continued to work her healing arts locally, despite the ache in her heart as she longed for both her husband and son. As days became weeks and weeks into months, the pain of separation grew until it was unbearable. The girls came to an agreement with their mother, and they would make the same trek so that their family could be whole once more. Upon reuniting, they discovered that the difficulty they faced while being apart only served to deepen the family's appreciation and connection to one another. Older now, the girls did all they could to support their parents, and their affection for their brother was able to burn away the melancholy and loneliness that had overcome him. Encouraged by her husband, the Kitsune threw herself into her studies with the healing masters with the goal of contributing to her son's recovery. After what had felt like years of preparations and studying, the required resources were painstakingly gathered and the necessary conditions were finally met. The blacksmith and his daughters stood by with bated breath as the Kitsune led her son into the ritual formation room. The door closed behind them, sealing with a resounding thud. Hours passed while the blacksmith comforted his daughters. As the sun rose the following morning, the healing masters unsealed the door, and the Kitsune, with son in hand, embraced her family with tears and a smile. Gratitude and joy swept over the family as she informed them of their success. Her son no longer suffered from a weak heart, and the family could finally return home completed. The experience that the family faced both together and apart only served to make them stronger. Upon returning home, the blacksmith's I lost my place. See. The experience that the family faced both together and apart only served to make them stronger. Upon returning home, the Kitsune and blacksmith walked together through their lands as they remembered their journey together. After enjoying the sense of peace and tranquility that had been missing from their life since the Mystic Grove, they returned to watch over their children that played together, at last healthy and whole. The blacksmith found himself walking about his smithy and smiled at his forge which sat cold for far too long. With renewed hope and joy, he relit his forge, and each tool blade and item forged became each item he forged became a piece of functional art that reflected the love and dedication he had for his family. The Kitsune applied her newfound knowledge in the healing arts to provide comfort and aid to those in need. The children proved how much they had learned from their parents as they fought battles of their own, weathering the blows that sought to lay them low. Through their experience and observing the challenges their parents were able to overcome, they had learned that true value of love, sacrifice, and unwavering faith formed the formations needed to cultivate the strength to build a future of hope and possibilities. The end. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm not the best of writers, and I know that it probably could still use some work, but I wanted to make sure I was able to record this video and before Valentine's Day. That way I can publish it in time and make sure that it's out there for you. I love you, baby. I hope you enjoyed the story, and Dahi, I love you so much. Needless to say, I kind of drew quite a bit on our relationship, some of the things that we faced, and the struggles with needing to get the struggles of our son needing to receive a heart transplant due to his dilated cardiomyopathy. So another bit of inspiration for this story came from a picture that I had commissioned couple of years ago as a gift for my wife. Hopefully, this beautiful piece of artwork was created by one of our friends who is a local artist and art teacher. Del, I cannot thank you enough for this beautiful work of art and how much it means to us. So, in the photo, you see the scene that I roughly described. A Ronin who oddly resembles this handsome guy that I know. Who am I kidding? I'm ugly. But a Ronin who's kneeling with sword in hand as a Kitsune stands above him. He's kneeling before her. Like I said, this artwork that was done was just beautiful. Hopefully, slightly better. I drew on quite a few elements of, well, our family. While writing this, I figured this would be a pretty good way to, or a really cool, unique Valentine's Day gift, since honestly, I've been kind of horrible when it comes to Valentine's Day since I've been married. Way back in the day, I was better at it, but I don't know, something about meeting your moms, I don't know. That day changed my life. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the story. Like I said, it is a very unique gift and something that I worked hard to produce. There's a little bit of underlying morals that I was trying to throw into it. It's a little subtle subtext. And roughly, the best way to describe what I wanted, the moral of the story, which kind of helped guided me as I wrote it, was that true love goes beyond simple attraction and beauty. Instead, true love is forged through understanding, acceptance, sacrifice, and the willingness to change oneself for the better. But not necessarily for the better of themselves, but to be better for the person that they love. Now, Although an individual can find strength and purpose in their life, it is the genuine connections and mutual support that from others around them that becomes the foundation to making them a better person. Dahi, son, I really cannot wait to see what kind of man you grow into. And I hope I'm around to see the type of family that you raise. Girls, I hope you enjoyed the story as well. I, as you know, I'm not necessarily one for romance, but this is my best shot, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And remember that I truly hope eventually you children will be able to find people who love you and willing to accept both faults and all of your uniqueness that makes you who you are. I was truly lucky in finding your mother, and I hope that all of you are just as lucky. To my Kitsune, I miss you, I love you, and I would not be the man I am today without you. We've gone through a lot, and I can truly say that being with you has helped guide me into becoming a better person. So thank you for everything you have done for our family, all the sacrifices you make, and that you continue to make for us. Truly cannot explain how appreciative I am. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed it. Neomore, can't wait to see your face, little one. And hopefully your mother enjoyed the story as well. Everyone else, thank you. Feel free to let me know what you thought of it. And I hope you enjoy yourselves. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Good night. Whatever time it is when you hear this.